Welcome to Jesus Without Religion. Today we're going to answer the question, when Christians die, do they immediately ascend into the kingdom of heaven, or do they sit in some kind of a holding tank, a waiting room, if you will, for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands of years? So it's a good question. It's asked pretty frequently. We wonder, where are our loved ones right now? Are they sitting in some type of a waiting room, waiting for the final Christian, the final person to be saved, to the final days of Judgment Day? Or are they already enjoying Christ? Now, what we believe is that the moment we take our last breath, we are immediately in the arms of Jesus. There's no waiting. It's instantaneous. And we're going to use a couple verses to support that in a minute here. I just want to remind you, I think one of the biggest struggles that we have is God is outside of time. You know, upstairs in heaven, if you will, it's not 2:00 in the afternoon for Jesus. It's not Sunday for Jesus. It's not fall time for Jesus. For Jesus, it's eternity. And time has literally been created for the purposes of man. And I think sometimes we can read some salvation scriptures, and they could very easily lead us to second guess what happens at the moment we take our last breath. So today I just want to share 3 short verses with you. I'm going to share a screen so I can just let you see it on BibleGateway.com, and we'll just talk through them real quick, and then you decide. But no, regardless of who's right, what's important is that we are saved and we will receive eternal salvation. So without further ado, let's jump into those verses here. So here we are. We are looking at, if you're seeing my screen correctly, should be seeing Bible Gateway. The first verse I want to point out is Luke 23:43. This is a common verse used to support that we are immediately in the kingdom with Jesus. I want you to notice very, very, very specifically what it says. This is Jesus speaking, and he's talking, as you know, to the thief on the cross. And he looks at him and he says to him, "Truly, I say to you, today you shall be with me in paradise." Now, according to Jesus, and I know people try to mix it and turn it and have it mean other things, but I believe it means just what it says. Jesus is saying, you put your faith in me. When you take your last breath, as the scripture tells, though you die, you shall still live. And today, you're not going to be in a waiting room. Today, you're going to be with me, enjoying me and my rest in the kingdom. So we go to the second verse. This one comes from 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 8. And this one is very simple. He says, we are of good courage. This is Paul speaking. He says, I say and prefer rather to be absent from the body. Now, if you're absent from the body, what's he talking about here? He's talking about a physical death, right? When you're absent from the body, what happens? And to be at home with the Lord. Other scriptures, other translations say to be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. So even Paul here is telling us the moment you die, when you leave this shell, you will immediately be present with the Lord. Now, I don't believe that, again, is like sitting in some waiting room saying, you got to wait until Judgment Day. Not until then. You're just going to wait for hundreds again or thousands of years. No, I think it's an immediate thing. It's outside of time. The moment you take that last breath, there you are in the arms of Jesus. And then just one last one. I didn't really want to overdo this one. So this one, it comes from 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 15. I want you to notice what he says here. He says, for this we say to you by the word of the Lord, that we who are alive, not stop right there. Who's we who are alive? Well, it could be you. It could be me. In this context, it's Paul talking to the people who are literally alive at that time. We who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord. Now get this. He's talking now about other believers who have died physically before they did. Now, if it's all one big event and we're going to be held in a waiting room until one big day where we all enter the kingdom, well, I don't know if that would make sense with this. He says, we who are alive and remain until the coming of the Lord, what will we not do? We will not precede those who have fallen asleep. Meaning, if you took your last breath today, you are not going to perceive those other people who took their last breath yesterday, 100 years ago, 200 years ago. So the message there would be that no, whoever has already fallen asleep, and again, when the Bible talks about falling asleep, this is what we would look at as a physical death. God doesn't look at it as death. God looks at it as you've fallen asleep, but though you're sleeping, you're actually alive in the kingdom of heaven. So that's our takeaway here on the kingdom of heaven, that the moment you take your last breath, if you've lost any loved ones, you've lost children or people that are so dear to you, and you wonder what they may be doing right now, let me assure you, they are present with the Lord and they know Jesus more than any of us do. Hope that helps. God bless you.